how does Shell plan to dispose of the chemicals they're using?
Yeah. First of all, on the chemicals, there is confusion about that as well. People say that we are not prepared to share what chemicals we use. The amount of chemicals we use is actually very small. It's less than 1% solution, which is actually not a lot. The chemicals we use in this case, there could be something to reduce friction, for instance, in it. There may be a little of salt in it. There may be a little bit of acid in it if there is calcareous material in these rocks at 2 to 3 kilometers depth, because you want to dissolve it. And we will declare publicly what chemicals we use. We already made this statement in 2010. It's one of the commitments we made already. But still, people believe that we will not disclose these chemicals. We will disclose these chemicals. The amount of chemicals you use is typically maybe 5 to 10 in so different types, and it's not more than that. So where we will, going back to your question, Jan, about these, where would the wastewater go? Technology is moving immensely fast. We have actually companies that can treat wastewater locally and in such a way that could be in the Karoo in a truck-mounted way. And then the only thing you get out is actually dry residue. And that residue has to go to a waste disposal site in South Africa. So all part of the environmental impact assessment, because that is where we actually outline what the options are going forward for the wells we want to drill.
Okay. And Julius, can you tell me about some of your concerns regarding the drilling and sealing?
Various concerns. We do also have evidence of wells that have not been properly sealed, and also the eroding, and obviously the gas is corrosive. So the well's integrity is also a major concern. The well casing failure has documented undesirable consequences in the US, and that raises a concern. We hear what the gentleman's saying again, and I'm sure he also said once that they're going to make an ecological example in the Karoo, and also his colleague who said that they'll leave it better than they found it. I cannot see how a sensitive environment like that can be left better after industrial development or exploration like that. And what you need to take into consideration, exploration, if you drill a hole to explore what gas there is, that's already setting free the resource. And I just want to also mention that, like I mentioned earlier, the chemicals used, yes, it's 1% of the amount, but that's tons of chemicals, considering millions of liters of water. It raises a concern. We do have evidence where Shell said, no, there's not a case that anyone has been detrimentally affected about that, but the G family in Pennsylvania, I'm sure it's there, they've had to evacuate the house because of the water resources being contaminated. And just around the scientific point of view, Shell has the money to pay these guys. We see documented and evidence that a lot of things have been said, but it is not what occurred and happened. So if you pay someone, why not get the effect you want out of it? That's the credibility and integrity that we're questioning in this situation. And yes, we've got a lot of geologists and scientists that say completely the opposite that Shell is saying. So I would like to take this opportunity with Shell now to invite them to have an open public debate with scientists, everyone involved, to get to a conclusion, so that we can work to the future. I would really recommend that. Anyway, just to get back to the facts here, that if you look at 1% of exploration of 90 square kilometers, does that include the others as well, like rhinos, chungu, bundu, falcon, or is it just Shell? And there's a lot of other issues that obviously will be addressed in the environmental management plan. But it's always a concern about the broader impact, not only underneath the surface, but on the surface as well. Who will maintain if there's gas piping and those types of things? What about the impact on the roads and that infrastructure, the health services, law enforcement, environmental monitoring, the additional cost around that? Municipal water supplies, how will that be affected? What a major concern is, and we looking at the current developed legislation around fracking that's drafted now, and our comments will be submitted next week. But there's no science in those legislation, and that raises a major concern for a proposed development with the significance of exploration and shale gas mining in South Africa.